Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of HUDYATIN, the podcast. And today we have our guest, Miss
Din Delish.
Woo!
Hello everyone.
We're so glad to have you today for our podcast.
And I'm so grateful to be here.
Would you like to first introduce yourself to our guests?
Hello everyone. I am Din Delish, your femme freak fatale from the legendary Love House and the Drag Avenue.
What can audiences expect from a Din Delish show?
To be honest, y'all will never know what to expect unless you buy the tickets to my show, girl. Like, come on, buy my tickets. But usually, I am a stunt queen, a dancing queen, but more or less, I focus on fashion orientation. Like, how I dress myself will depend on how I'm performing, or vice versa.
So you are more of a look queen?
I wouldn't box myself as a look queen. I wouldn't box myself as a dancing queen. I'm just Din Delish.
Oh my God. Okay, so for my first question, how did you first discover drag as a way to express yourself, and what did it unlock in you that everyday life couldn't?
So I first discovered drag through the movie To Wong Fu, like way back.
I love that movie then.
Right. I think it was around the time where season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race was premiering. And I also discovered RuPaul from the movie as well. And after watching it, I was like, oh my God, parang nag-deep dive na rin ako pagkatapos ng movie into the whole drag scene. But more of the Western side, not the Filipino version.
The Filipino side.
Yes, because I was still abroad in the UAE when I discovered it. And after doing that deep dive, being such a repressed queer teenager where I couldn't express my queerness because of the situation I was in and because of the location where I was in, where queerness was not necessarily allowed to thrive, I use it as an expression just by watching it, just by watching people be their true authentic selves. That was enough for me at the time, kung baga. Pero now, drag it unlocked like parang everything that I was like holding back when I was like such a small child. So.
Pero when it comes to your drag, do you consider Din Delish as a part of your outside drag persona, or are they completely different people?
Me and my boy persona, there's two completely different people, I would say, but they both derive from the same authenticity that comes from my soul. Parang if Din Delish is super outgoing, super, can I curse?
Yeah.
Super slutty, super whorish. Parang, it's everything that Dean couldn't be, but it's still something that Dean would want to become, or like something that Dean can't express, but it's still in there. So it's very that vibe where they all come from the same weirdness that comes inside of my heart.
Does it change your perspective about the world whenever you're in your boy persona or your drag persona?
Not necessarily, because I still view the world the same way. Like, even if I'm up in drag at night alone, I could still walk the street and not be scared. Not necessarily, because I don't know. I think I'm just stupid in a sense. Like, I really can't differentiate myself when I'm in drag. I can't differentiate like my worldview if I'm in boy drag or if I'm in drag. So yeah.
But what about your fellow queens? Were there any moments where they somehow kind of felt a little bit more unsafe, so they kind of had to, kind of tone it down a little bit after the show?
Girl, no. Like, all the drag really queens I'm with, they are so gay. They're so gay. They are so gay. Cause yung biro namin as a drag family, ako yung pinaka-straight. So like,
so lagay na yan?
Kaya nga! I'm like, what? Like, that's so crazy. Like, my drag mother, oh my gosh, she could be like, oh my God, work, like every 2 seconds at di siya mapapagod at all.
So, when it comes to drag being mainstream, I also wanted to ask you, what's the difference between being valuable in popular culture and being valued in society?
Well, it's all a performance. People buy what they want to buy. If you're a TV producer and you want a gay person, you'll parang cast them on what you believe a gay person is supposed to be in your film, as opposed to what gay people are naturally like. Yung sinabi mga kanina, yung mga 2010s gay people, super maldita, super blah, 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 blah. But in reality, like there are so many. It's so diverse. It's so diverse. We can't be stereotyped. We can't be parang ganon. So it's so different when it comes to that aspect.
Pero personally, as someone who's also gay, so a lot of these medyo nag-trickle down din siya outside of entertainment but also to real life. For example, if you have this, laging may token gay sa isang section. I think you know this feeling, right? So parang, for example, if dalawa kaming gay sa sa isang class, I'm not the comedy gay kasi. Like, hindi yun yung personality. Like, I can be fun, I can be witty and very snappy, but I'm not very comedian type of personality. So, I also sometimes feel like parang mas favorable yung treatment sa other na palatawa, pag ganon, then me who's a little bit more on the reserve side. So, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I would like to parang it's all a performance.
Everything's a performance,
It's all a performance. Like,
it's exhausting.
Girl, the Pope is performing. Everybody's performing. The politicians are performing. Everyone is performing. You could go outside and see a person walking down the street and they're performing. Kaya, sabi nga ni RuPaul, everything is drag.
Yeah.
Performance
We're all
is
born
drag.
naked and the rest is drag!
Work.
So, when we circle back to drag and its relationship with entertainment and media, when brands or media celebrate drag, do you feel that recognition empowers the community or does it sometimes water down its message?
For me, it depends on the brand. It depends if they're actually authentic about it, if they're authentic about the love for queer people, or if it's just a performance, if it's just a facade, just to keep up with the times. Parang if they don't do it, they'll get canceled. If they don't do it, they won't get enough money or revenue for future projects. And super halata to differentiate from the brands that actually love gay people and from the brands that don't really care.
Yeah.
Parang pagkatapos ng Pride Month, diba? Pag Pride Month muna, super everyone drag, queer, gay. Pagkatapos, bakla, they changed their logos back from the Pride logo back to the original logo. Alam mo yun, yung mga queer, rainbow. Tapos pagkatapos ng Pride Month, wala. Tuyong-tuyo na yung mga everything about drag.
Pero circling back again, what happens when something that started as rebellious starts getting repackaged as simply entertainment?
I think that's no shade, but I think it's Drag Race. I feel like it's Drag Race because, let's put aside Drag Race Philippines for a while.
Okay.
The main drag franchise, from start, it was about queer representation, super getting drag out there to the mainstream.
Okay.
While more towards the later seasons, I sort of feel like, me personally, I sort of feel like it's just a channel of RuPaul marketing herself and her products. Like, yes, we can't deny the impact that Drag Race has made towards the community, but I feel like it's become so repackaged and so commercialized in a sense where it isn't about queerness, queer joy anymore. It's about selling a brand.
Yeah, I think that's where some concerns rise kasi parang nagiging rite of passage kasi siya. You're only ever going to be booking shows if you appear on this show.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive to go to Drag Race.
Especially kung ma-flop ka sis. Like kung flop ka, tas it won't change anything. It'll just make it worse.
Pero in your case, would you say na it's like for example, not just Drag Race, but just the commercialization of drag in general have compromised your art? Kasi we're at this stage na why are we even debating if drag is political? Or do you think na there's something about the commercialization that have compromised your art?
For me personally, no, because I do art for art's sake. I do drag for drag. I don't do any of that for money or for fame or for whatever. I do it because I love it. I do it because it's my expression. I do it because I love drag. I don't love drag because of the money. I don't love drag because of the fame. I don't love drag because of any other attachment that comes with it. I love drag for drag. I love drag for being a filthy creature, whore, slut.
Okay. Pero sige, look at the camera and say if you agree, if drag is political.
Of fucking course. Of course, drag is political. Let's use our brains, sisters. Of course, drag is political. You can't do anything without being political. You can't use your voice without being political. You can't dress like this and be not political, girl. Come on.
It's kumbaga, it's a way of you what's the term? Going against the status quo.
Yes.
Yes, of course. So, when it comes to our identity, not just you as a drag queen, but also as part of the LGBTQ plus community, we are minorities.
For sure.
So, even ako, I sometimes also have to agree na even my identity as an out gay person is also political. And it's also privilege on my end na I'm able to be out. Not everyone has that sense of security. What would you say to students who feel like politics doesn't really touch their lives?
I feel like if a person says that, they're obviously in a bubble that protects them, that benefits them, that shields them from any negativity that surrounds the world. So I feel like if you think that like politics don't affect you, or if anything doesn't affect you, it does, and it will, and it's already happening right now. You just don't notice it because you're in a bubble that protects you from everything.
But even then, yung bubble nila is also powered by politics.
Yes.
Yeah, because even, economically, it's also, of course, about politics.
Yes. So, yeah, I feel like what I would say to them is, pop that bubble, girl, pop that bubble. You are not Glinda. You are not who you think. You're not Glinda, girl. Just pop that bubble and fight the Wizard of Oz, whatever the plot of the movie was.
Where have you met someone who told you that? Kasi ako, yes.
Parang no, but come to realize it, because I was living in a bubble. I was Glinda once. Now,
Okay.
I'm Alpha ba. And parang sobrang ignorant ako before. Super ignorant ako before when it comes to politics and everything. I honestly thought it didn't affect me. I thought I wouldn't care about it. But like now, I realize that's the biggest mistake I've ever done, because I've lost so much time due to ignorance, and I could have been fighting with my people for my people. And that's such a shame to say. Like, and I'm publicly speaking it that I was an ignorant person, and I popped my bubble, and now I'm here speaking about it.
How does privilege sometimes make people politically detached, and what can they do to unlearn that detachment?
Oh, girl, I said this earlier, but it just comes from like how they were brought up. Like me personally, I was brought up very protected, very shooed away from politics. And what you can do is, as I said, pop that bubble, girl. Pop that bubble. You are not Glinda. You are Glinda fuck. But yeah,
Or what awakened your political spirit?
Political spirit. Parang seeing my it happened through social media. Seeing parang people fight for inequality in terms of gay marriage and parang the SOGIE Bill.
Oh yeah, of course.
So nakita ko yun, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I like not with my people? Why am I just sitting here protected and in an environment that protects me and only me? Parang ang selfish nun.
Yeah.
It's super selfish, and I feel like people should break that stigma that they should only care about themselves. We should care about our people, our community, because like without our community we are nothing. Without people we are nothing. Parang we should be it's so ironic. So parang be the change you want to be in the world. Parang that's really what it is. There's nothing more. We shouldn't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
That's that, and we should stick by it.
Yeah, and sometimes these are sentiments that are coming even from people in our community.
Yes.
I mean, we all understand the Benilde has a very diverse population when it comes to queer people. So, parang sakit lang na di nyo ba naintindihan how much this means to us as people?
Like, naalala ko before, nung may the walkout from school for corruption.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I was there with my drag sister, si Mamster. Tas I was helping the photography committee.
Okay.
I was a personal assistant for one of the photographers, and pumasok kami ng anong tawag doon, yung sa side of the building. Generator.
Generator.
Pumasok kami sa generator. Tas ang daming taong kumakain lang. And they weren't doing anything they were just having free time. They were just scrolling on their phones. And I was like, why aren't these people like at least going outside to show their support? You don't have to shout, you don't have to scream, you just have to be there and be present for your community. Parang it doesn't take that much to be aware and socially present. It's just so parang it's disheartening that people that the least people could do is go outside and sit in the sun for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. They couldn't do that still, and it's so disheartening.
And even the people who attended, there were even some who used the opportunity para mag-content.
Yeah.
You know this. You know this.
Girl.
Sobrang cringe.
like I mentioned earlier nga, diba, na I was part of the photography committee.
Yeah.
Girl, the way the people were asking me, "Hoy, pwede pa send nga ng picture na kasama ako." I'm like, sino ka ba, sis?
It's not about you. It's, or at least it's not just about you. It's
Yeah.
about everybody else.
Yeah. Oh my god. And like so many people, they just passed by and they took a photo of like the stop corruption sign and they posted it on their Instagram stories and walked the fuck out. I'm like, girl, who the fuck do you think you are?
So, when it comes to our conversation so far, obviously, especially within our community here in Benilde, there's a lot of people who are still in need of some change, at least in perspective. As a drag queen, how can the spirit of drag challenge young people to turn digital awareness into action? I mean, for some additional, para kasing ano ang dali lang mag-post.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
guys.
kasi I'm sure meron at meron din sa sinasabi mo na hindi tumayo to join the protest. Would probably be sharing it online. Pero how can the spirit of drag sort of, you know, convert yung post nila to action in real life?
I feel like, okay, I would like, parang I have this, si Mama Sir, she's my drag sister, and I'd like to use her as an example for this, because when she performs with like heart and essence about politics. Like she does political drag and I love that, and it's so moving. I feel like drag is a movement in a sense where it can inspire a lot of people to do more than what they think they're capable of. Like in a sense that people think that, oh, all I can do is parang, oh, like, repost, parang that's all I can do. But thinking about it, as a drag queen, we can use our platforms in so many different ways that to help parang to help the movement. We can inspire people. We can use our performances and we can inspire people. And with that inspiration, I feel like that will parang slap some sense into people to make them see that we can do much more than just posting on our Instagram stories. Like what I said earlier, all it takes is just to stand up, go outside for 30 minutes and protest and say your piece and be with your people. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like just like 0.5% more challenging than posting on your story.
Yeah. And when it comes to, you know, trying to incorporate the spirit of drag and these types of movements, I mean, what you do is a lot more difficult. Kasi you go out there and you know na people are always going to have an opinion, with what you do, what you say, or how you look like. But even right now, people are going to be seeing this and they're going to have an opinion about your drag. So it's all about going out of your comfort zone and just not really caring what other people would perceive of you because you're at a protest.
Yes.
We're all doing things for the common good.
Yeah.
There was never really a time where we were not political, or at least this heated when it comes to politics. But especially recently with the flood control projects, I mean, we've seen the tragedy na nangyari sa Cebu, and then how much damage yung last storm cost us.
Yeah.
So the word politics, or at least the concept of politics, is floating on our minds, or at least in the public conscience, a lot more than usual. And it's only 2025, and 2026 is coming.
Yeah.
But we can already feel that 2028 is right around the corner, so it's going to be another election cycle. What does voting mean for you as a drag queen performer and as part of the queer community?
For me, voting, it's your right. You should use your right to vote. You should use your privilege to vote. Like, if you want a change in something in the community, in the world, just in the Philippines, use your voice. Using your voice is so important, not just as a drag artist, not just as a Benilde, not just as like a student, as like a citizen, as a person, as like humans. We should use our right to use our voice, like without speaking up and doing anything about it. Nothing will happen in the world. And yeah.
It's a civil right kasi. It's not just a right, it's also a responsibility.
It is a responsibility.
Yes. We elect officials out there who are meant to represent us, who are meant to represent what we stand for. So why are you not going to grab that opportunity for you to vote? And especially in our case as minorities, and we have a lot of minorities here in Benilde. So, you know, nakakalungkot lang kasi, di ba, we had this election poll, like during April, I'm sure na you also participated in this
Yes.
one. And then it was released by the student government na the number of unregistered students outnumber those who are registered. So parang sayang. We kind of had a platform na, we have good
Yeah.
education, but you're not gonna grab that opportunity.
Yeah, I also think it circles back to what we talked about earlier, where they're in a bubble, and it just, if they aren't parang talking about it, if they aren't talking about the situation and the society that we live in, the society benefits them,
Yeah.
and it's working for them. It isn't working against them, so they have no problem with it. And I feel like
And the problem kasi it's at the cost kasi of everyone else.
yes, it is at the cost of everything else. And I feel like they should be a little more like selfless and give back to the community from what they've taken from us. And it's like that's just the bare minimum. Girl.
Yeah.
That's really the bare minimum.
So when it comes to politics and voting for politicians who are meant to represent us, I mean, we're not here to endorse a candidate. We're not here to endorse a party list. But also, I really, really want to know what issues or policies affect the LGBTQ plus community and creative communities most, but often get ignored by the mainstream.
Girl, there's a lot.
There's a lot. And
there's
where do I
like-
even begin?
Like, ang dami talaga. But like, I think the main one and the one that's most known is the SOGIE Bill.
Please tell to the camera what the SOGIE Bill is, or at least what SOGIE stands for.
Sister, I feel like we should say it together.
It stands for Sexual Orientation, Gender, Identity, and Expression.
Work.
Kasi there's this notion kasi na parang pag sinabi natin SOGIE, it only affects gay people or
Yeah.
trans people. No, kahit straight ka, kahit straight man ka, it benefits you. Kasi kumbaga, you are
Everyone.
not going to be discriminated against. Especially women. Kaya mag-benefit dito, you cannot be simply fired. You
my.
cannot be declined jobs. You cannot
Yeah.
be declined opportunities simply because you're a woman.
Yeah. And people fail to realize that because it's just gay people advocating for it. Because they just see gay people piling towards one thing and think it's such a negative.
Yeah.
But it affects everyone. So the SOGIE is for everyone. SOGIE is for everyone. It's made for everyone. Basta, girl, it's so stupid that
And like,
people think it's just for
Here's
the
the
gays.
thing. There will be no culture without the queer community.
Yes.
There really wouldn't be.
Yes.
If you're somebody who speaks out against SOGIE Bill, you do not deserve to have your parloristas. You do not deserve to have your manicuristas. You do
Yeah.
not deserve your stylists. You do not deserve your designers. You do not deserve to enjoy movies by our comedians.
Yes.
If you're going to indulge and enjoy not necessarily gay media, but media made by gay
Gays,
people,
yes.
you should not be entitled to enjoying those things if you do not stand with the community.
Yeah, and people don't realize how much is made by gay people. It's like in my course fashion, girl, half of the people there are gay. Half of the important people in like fashion, Marc Jacobs.
Yeah.
So many people in TikTok, like the TikTok fashion boys who are homophobic, they're wearing Marc Jacobs, they're wearing
Calvin Klein
Dior,
underwear.
girl.
Like, I'd better not see a Calvin Klein waistband and be homophobic.
Diba? It's just so. It's just this, like, they're so misinformed. Like, bless your heart.
Like the performative
Oh my
male.
God.
Diba? Like, that's just a straight boy cosplaying as a gay man.
Yes, exactly. And like, no, like, so many makeup trends, so many makeup techniques are derived from black trans women, and people don't know that. Like, the straight homophobic girls don't know that their nose highlight was derived from black trans women.
Even
like,
even when it comes to our slangs, like laro,
Bakla.
diba?
Like
saan pa ba magsisimula yun?
yun
Diba
nga
sa
eh.
atin?
Sa atin yun, girl. Like, it's honestly like, people don't give like they don't give the gay people our flowers. Like, they pay us dust, they pay us like no mind at all, and it's like so disheartening. I'm like, what is happening, girl? We made half of everything, girl. Like, what's happening, girl?
So far, we've been discussing, even straight people who are constantly enjoying services by gay people or enjoying products, may it be actual physical or entertainment or any other service by gay people. How can allies, especially those economically privileged, amplify queer voices instead of speaking over them?
To be honest, just pay us respect. Give us our flowers, give us our dues. You don't have to be over the top and be like, I
my God!
Hindi naman
Drop,
ganun.
drop, drop, drop!
Yes! Hindi naman ganun. Parang ano lang, parang respect. Respect
And
us.
listen.
And listen. Like, when we have something to say, listen. Because it's probably important. It's probably the best thing you'll ever fucking hear. No shade. Parang ano, we just go, us as queer people, we just go so far without being recognized as something important. So it's just so tiring, and we the allies should speak up about it, speak up about queer problems, speak up about queer celebrations. It doesn't have to be all negative. You don't have to address all the problems. You could also address our victories, our wins, our celebrations.
And also, you can take that support to the present every election by voting for candidates who support gay people. Yun naman talaga dapat yung ginagawa natin lahat. Yeah. And also always just listen. Don't try to push a narrative about us and without making an effort to hear our voices as is. A while ago, we were talking about your drag persona and how that is different from your boy persona, right?
Yes.
I mean, it depends yung drag, a person's or a performer's relationship with their drag personas are different. Some consider some considers it as a mask, and some considers it as an extension of themselves. When it comes to politics, what do you think needs to be unmasked in our political system, and what does the political system needs to extend to?
Parang authenticity is key. Show the people what you're doing for them, and transparency, exactly. Girl, show them fun, show them receipts. It's like, I don't get.
Also naman pag yung may paresibo kayo sa paniguruduhin nyo, walang halong paraiba yan.
Oh my gosh. But yes, girl, transparency is key. It's like, how are you gonna run a country, a city, or whatever you do without authenticity? You're doing it for the people, so why not show the people, girl? It's like, unless y'all are hiding something that should not be done.
Diba? Dapat ma-unmask ang mga corrupt, ang mga trapo. Dapat na-unmask ang mga kasinungalingan sa ating sistema.
Target.
So for us to close our show,
Oh my God.
as the next Miss Universe,
Mexico, not this, girl.
ito na, if there's one message you want young voters to take away from this conversation, what would it be?
Girl, as I said before, pop that bubble. Girl, everything is political. Everything affects you, whether you like it or not. Like when you sit down in a chair, when you go out in the street, that is political in a sense. You are using your privilege to do everything that you can do right now, and what you can do with that is use your right to vote, use your right to speak out with every situation that's happening right now, and just be present and be educate yourself on what's happening.
Yeah. And also, again, I'm looking at the camera, masasabi ko lang is, no one is going to be hurt by change unless you are corrupt.
Say that again.
No one is to suffer from change unless you are corrupt. Diba? Wala naman magbabago if we change our policies, if we improve our economic policies. No, you're not gonna suffer because there's change unless you are the one who's benefiting as people are suffering. Period. Diba?
You took the words from my mouth.
So, as to wrap up everything that we've discussed, so, I gotta pop the bubble. Yun yung soundbite natin for today. Pop that bubble.
Where?
So, it's best na we learn to listen, to understand,
Yes.
and to go out of our comfort zones in solidarity for the common good, for the common cause. If you see people protesting, maybe they may have a point.
Exactly.
Whether if you initially agree on their causes, it wouldn't hurt to listen. So again, thank you, Delish, for being our guest today. It was such a colorful episode.
Kinda good.
So again, in the spirit of our discussion for today, we have a drag performer with us. Is there anything that you want to plug?
I want to plug, oh my god, everything. My social media, you can follow me on Instagram at the Din Delish, THEDINDELISH. And you can follow my drag family, The Love House. It's also in my Instagram bio. And an extension for that, my drag collective, The Drag Avenue. Also my Instagram bio at THE Drag Avenue. Yes!
Okay. So thank you so much for that. At least for me, I want to plug our website, HUDYATIN.com. It contains everything that you need to learn about voter registration. It has dates for when the voter registration is open. It contains the requirements you need to register, the process for registration. It also contains articles from us, and other episodes of HUDYATIN is also available there, and short form contents that you can share to social media, bite-sized videos. Hope na you take the time to check out our website and enjoy it. It's important for us to vote, and it's important for us to register. It's important for us to care about our fellow Filipinos. Okay, so once again, thank you for watching. HUDYATIN!